Hey, what's going on, everybody? Welcome to the Sip and Save, an hour of the Simeon Henderson Show, where we're giving a voice to the people. I have a special guest today, and I hope you guys are sipping on something because I am. My black coffee. I'm sipping on my black coffee, and just getting ready to bring in Sarah Cigan. We're gonna have a great show today, so I hope you guys are ready and to get it going. I want to give you guys a quick preview of who will be on my show tomorrow. We have TK Talks, and I want to give you let you see real quick. So check out TK Talks, right? All right, all right. We are here. Hope you guys enjoyed that little intro. TK Talks will be on the show tomorrow. But right now, I am in the house with the one and the only Miss Sarah. Hey, Sarah.
Hi, how are you, Simeon?
I'm good. How's it going?
It's good, good. Just hanging out with my babies and whatnot. So they daddy with them in the front. So hopefully they'll be nice and calm during this. So if you hear
Right,
babies crying, I'm sorry.
right. So let me start right there, right? So we're dealing with the pandemic and everything, and we're stuck inside, and
Hmm.
you have two little babies.
Yes, I do.
You have two little babies. How old are your babies again?
So my son, he'll actually be 2 next month on, June 29th. I say I'm rounding up. It's May already in my head. So June 29th, he'll be 2. And then my daughter is 5 months. She'll be 6 months on the 1st.
Okay. I remember
So,
when we were filming Black and Privilege. Wait. So one of them, you had just had the baby.
yeah.
And then we were filming again and you were pregnant.
And I was pregnant again. Yeah.
Right. I'm like, what the heck is going This scene is not called for pregnant. No, I'm joking.
Look, I take my role seriously. Okay, I'm just like,
Like, yeah, you're gonna be pregnant this time. So what do you think you can do
we
about
were
that?
really like, I'm a method actor. Like, if the role calls for being pregnant, I got to get pregnant. I'm like,
All right.
but yeah, 2 under 2, definitely. So anybody that's out there, if you have two little ones close together, y'all already know how it is. It's a joy. I love it, but it gets a little hectic sometimes.
Oh yeah. So and it's just one of those things where being a mom and an actor, actress, now they say actor, actress, or whatever.
Yeah.
It's not easy because now you have to juggle the family and you have to juggle the career. Now
Yes.
when we go into it, let's go back. Let's go back. So you have two little ones, but you started acting before you had your kids.
Right.
What was it like? What made you want to get into the acting world?
So ever since I was a little girl, I've loved acting. I remember that was the first thing, people are like, what do you want to be when you grow up? And, firefighter, policeman, whatever. That was the first thing I ever said was an actress. Now
Mhm.
it changed throughout the years. But I always came back around to acting. And then going into grammar school, I was in a lot of school plays and just like the excitement, because, I know you've done theater as well. So, even theater and film is a little different, but starting out with theater, just like that feeling of being on the stage, it's
Mhm.
live, you're entertaining. Like, it was a couple times in one play we had, I had to ad lib because something went wrong, and it's not like film, cut, okay, let's do it again. It's like, oh shit, I gotta figure something out now. And I like, would improv in the moment, and the whole audience would crack up, and it was just such a great feeling. So throughout my life, I never I never really got the same feeling career-wise from anything else except
Hmm.
for acting.
Right.
I went to U of I in Urbana-Champaign. I graduated with a master's, a bachelor's in health education or community health, focus in health education and
Hmm.
promotion. Worked in that a little bit after graduation and just still came back around. It's just like no matter what I did, I just came back to acting until I think it was like 2016 is
Uh-huh.
when I decided to pursue it professionally. And I was
Okay.
like, you know what? I need to take this serious. There's nothing else that makes me feel this way. Like, why not? I don't want to be 80 years old looking back at my life and thinking, what if? You know what I mean? What if I
Right.
could have done this? What if I could have, went down that? What would have happened? So I was like, F it. Let me just do it and just, why not? And since then, I've been trying to just, make some moves and keep
So when you
pushing it.
so when you decided that this was what you wanted to do, did you have any pushback from your family, like your mom or your dad or your family? Because it's like, hey, now you went to college, you got a degree, and now you want
Right.
to be an actor,
Hmm.
So you're gonna go from you can get a career job to struggling. I call it striving uh, to be
Right.
successful in the acting world and
Hmm.
making money. What would your family feedback?
So they were super supportive. I That's one thing I've always been really thankful for because I know a lot of people do have that experience with their family. It's like, well, what did you go to school for? Why do we, pay for this? Well, you can't get a real job in that. And even myself, while I was in school, that's why I didn't get an acting degree even though
Mhm.
that's what I always have loved, because I was even telling myself, like, okay, let's be realistic. You don't want to be a struggling actor. It's very unlikely that you can, not even being fake, because people get so caught up in being famous. Just, you don't have to be famous to even be successful at acting. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
As far you can get commercials, whatever you do, you can be successful. So I'm like, it's unlikely that a lot of people tend to make a lot of money from it. So I'm like, let me just go ahead, do this other,
Right.
do this health thing, make real money. But when I decided that I was just like, you know what, I really want to do this, I was so supportive. And I think that's probably because my parents always have known that I'm, have that personality. I've always wanted to act. They always came to my plays when I was little. Anything I had, like college wise, like little monologues I would do, they would always watch them, support. So
Mhm.
they were like, sure, why not? If you can, if you can make it happen and, you put 100% and you work at it, then why the hell not? Of course, my dad is
Okay.
always like, you learn everything from me. Everything you got is from me. I'm like, sure, Dad, thanks.
Okay. And speaking of the parents, I'm gonna do a quick promo real quick. And after this promo, we're gonna come in and we're gonna talk a little bit about your parents and the influence that they had on you as an actress. All right.
Awesome.
All right, guys, we're
Okay.
gonna do a quick promo and we'll be right back with Sarah.
Perfect.
So you guys saw my little Be Symbolic promo. I
That's
have
nice.
to do that. Did you see it?
I did see it. It showed
Okay.
me.
You actually
That was
have a
nice.
show. So, and the reason I'm playing these promos and different things. If you guys are watching the show, if you have a business and you want to promote your business, you can send it to me. We'll put it on the show. And my thing, Be Symbolic, is simply your best, and which is a great segue into you on the show, Sarah, because you always striving to be your best. And one of the things I want to ask you about being your best. So you have your mom and your dad, right? So
Right.
this is going to be twofold. I want to know two things because we look at you and we know you're a sister, but you're a light skinned sister, right?
Hmm.
So, what type of impact did your parents have on you when it comes to acting? And what's your background? What's your nationality?
Okay. So my nationality, my mom is Black. My mom's side of the family is from Mississippi, specifically from Hattiesburg. So if anybody got family in Hattiesburg, woo, woo. And then my dad's side of the family is actually he's Hungarian and Slovenian.
Oh wow! So
So
you go from black Mississippi to
all the
Hungary.
way over, and yes, exactly. Exactly. Yeah. So like my father, my grandmother, his mom is Hungarian and his father was Slovenian. And this is back when they lived in Yugoslavia, back when there was a Yugoslavia before
Hmm.
it, separate and everything. So yeah, so that's his background. And I guess when it comes to just how they've impacted me, um, again, the support thing, I think that's always so important for anybody with whatever dream they want to pursue, and it starts at an early age. So like I said, when I was doing plays, and there was one time I remember my mom even like signed me up to do this acting and modeling thing, and there was one time we were seriously trying to pursue it, but I needed headshots, and I think this was like I don't know in the 90s how much the headshots were back then, but whatever it was, we didn't have the money for it at the time. Mm-hmm. So it was just like, okay, well, I just kept pursuing it in my own way throughout. But they've just always been a big influence. My grandfather, actually, my mom's dad, he was an actor, and he was actually SAG. After like he had his union and everything, he performed. He was a big theater actor, so he performed on like the Goodman stage, and he was a singer as well. So he was like, he would always sing, and he actually was the first Black director for NBC. He worked there for over 35 years.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So he kind of had that hookup to, with like the network and everything. So he it was a couple times we have it on videotape where he performed. Mm-hmm. So it's always been that bug kind of in my family. And I really attribute a lot of that to my grandfather, just because that's how his personality was. And I think he would be really happy. He would be happy I was going down this route if he was still with us. So yeah, not just my parents, but even just like my grandfather, I think had a lot of influence on me.
So now you're getting into the acting, and you're going. So you walk in a room, and you don't really look like the typical Black girl. Then you don't look like the typical white girl. Then you got this curly hair and this light skin. But when you open your mouth, the ethnicity comes out.
Yeah,
I call you bougie ghetto.
Yeah, you too.
So what was it like for you when you're going for these roles, when you're looking at the character breakdowns? What was that process like? Looking at African American, 5'10", whatever, brown skin, or what was that like for you to go in to these characters and these auditions for these characters, not really knowing what they wanted? Or if you know what they wanted.
Right, exactly. No, that's an interesting question. I think I always have identified as Black. That's just like the way I've grown up, my culture. Even though my father he's always been around. Like, when my parents separated when I was like 3 or 4, he's picked me up every weekend, so he's always been involved. But I remember a long time ago, I don't even know if he remembers this, but a long time ago, we had a conversation when I was younger, and just talking about it. And I was, told him too, like, I identify as Black, and he knows that too, just culturally and everything. And, he loves it. And so with that being said, when I look at these roles and these breakdowns, it's not like, I don't feel, when I see looking for African-American female or something, I don't feel like, oh, I'm submitting to something where I don't really belong, or I don't really, of course they, you think about, okay, well, if they're looking for a dark-skinned African-American woman, obviously I'm not going to get the role, right. Obviously I'm not going to get that. Or if they are looking for someone that has more, Black features, I might not get that role, but that never stops me from applying, because again, that's who I am.
Right.
And I think that even goes into a whole interesting kind of topic, like this whole Rashida Jones thing is going around. And, the whole Black AF stuff. And that's just, I don't know. I just roll my eyes at that, because it's
what do you think? So what do you think about that? So I'm going to get into Black and privilege and some other stuff.
Yeah.
But so as this goes with that, what do you think about that? Like that show, I have my own thoughts, but sometimes we have to keep our thoughts to ourselves, because when we make comments because of who we are and what we do, it can be taken out of context and misconstrued. Yes. So we have to be careful about what we say and how we say it. So, yeah.
Absolutely. Oh, yeah. Somebody could probably come back, years from now. Look at what Sarah Cigan and Simeon said in this part, and they're, racist, whatever. I don't know. Just people make up anything. So I get you, brother. But yeah, it's so, okay. So with the Rashida Jones thing, and this is actually something that somebody asked me before too, where it's like, what do you think about racially ambiguous people in Hollywood playing different characters? It's acting, okay? It's
Mhm.
freaking acting. If you want me to go and portray, someone who's Mexican, okay?
Mhm.
Yeah, I might not look Mexican or something, but if I have the chance to go to that role or I want to do it, or somebody who's Irish, I'm not Irish, maybe I could pass more for it because of my looks,
You
but
could because your eyes.
because my right, exactly. So in my opinion, okay, I'm an actor, meaning that I am willing to play whatever role that I feel like would benefit me, that I would want to do. Maybe it's a challenge to do it.
Mhm.
And being an actor means going into different roles. It means going to different characters. If Rashida Jones is someone, people are mad at her because, oh, she's always played white women, or she's always played, the Italian friend and this and that. What did they say? The closest thing was when she was Rainbow's sister on Blackish or whatever. And they always say this, but it's like, how are y'all mad at her? Because she's able to do this and she is an actress, so she's going into that role, right? Then I heard somebody say, well, the issue is more, of she hasn't been vocal about Black people's issues and Black people's rights and things like that, or she never wanted to play a Black person
Mhm.
before. This was somebody said. First of all, you don't know what she wanted. You don't
That,
know why she's
see,
played the roles that she's played. You don't know why she's done what she's done. Everybody is speculating at this point. And I hate that too, especially being, I'm not freaking Beyonce and everybody knows who Sarah Cigan is. No, I'm not there yet. But it still is like being in that world and being in
mhm.
the entertaining world. It's like you see how these people on the outside are looking. They make all these judgments. Oh, well, she don't want to be Black. She ain't never did. Y'all don't know what this lady has done in
Exactly.
Hollywood. You don't know why she's picked those roles, okay? And now I will say, me personally, when I do get to that platform where I have millions of people listening to me
Mhm.
and, you know, hearing what I have to say, then I personally, I've always been very into trying to help out, give back to the community,
Right.
like be vocal for Black rights. I support it, and just trying to give my support in any way. So when I get to that platform, I definitely will use that to help out and, not kind of forget where I came from. And even in Hollywood, like I would never tone down my Blackness to
Right.
fit a role, right? And I'm not saying that's what Rashida did. That's what some other people are accusing her of, right? So me personally, I'm never gonna turn down my Blackness to get a role or whatever. If you don't
Mhm.
like me as is, now if it's a role that's calling for a Caucasian person or something, I have to change my dialect up or whatever. Then again, people, that's called acting.
And
It's
see,
acting.
and I think people, man, are so unforgiving sometimes and so judgmental,
Yep.
and they're not looking at the fact that this is this lady's career and this is her job, so this is what she do and this is what she does, so she's going to have to portray characters and characteristics that might not be who she is personally, but
Right.
that's who the character is. So in order for you to be entertained and for you to watch the show and like the show, I have to become this jerk or this nice person or whatever you
Mm-hmm.
want to call it. I have to get into character in order to entertain you. And
Exactly.
I think so many times people are being so judgmental, and it's easy for them to do that because they're not in that position.
Right.
And I
And
think
they don't know what it's like, and they'll never know
they
what it's like
don't.
to be in that position. So it's
Right.
easy to sit back and say blah blah blah. When them same people that say that, if they were in that position in that role, they would probably really be like, "Oh, what do you want me to be? Oh, I won't speak about anything. You're paying $500,000, $1,000,000 for this role. I won't say anything about Black people's rights.
Mhm.
Go ahead." Same people that will be Uncle Tomming it up, trying to
Mhm.
talk about Miss Rashida. No, and then this is Quincy Jones's daughter. If y'all think that she is in any type of way trying to not own her Blackness or anything like that, being Quincy Jones' daughters, y'all, come on now, let's be
And
realistic.
look,
Like,
so Sarah, so if you guys have any questions for Sarah or any questions about the topic that we're talking about, please put it in and we'll address it. Sherelle Brown said something I think is very interesting. She said, but people always want other Blacks who are famous to speak up. Some issues aren't for everyone. That lady might just want to stay in her lane. Yes, she's Black, but people should Google her and stop being judgmental. Regular people should speak up too. So this is another. I love that, Sherelle, because
yeah, I agree. I was going to
everybody
say that too.
everybody doesn't have the intellect, or not even just the intellect. They don't have that intestinal fortitude to be bold enough to speak out, because
Exactly.
they might not be able to take the backlash, the approvals or disapprovals. So who are we to say that just because you're famous, you're supposed to do that?
Yep.
Now, the second part of that, I totally agree with her, is the fact that regular people should speak up too. You don't have to be a celebrity or on TV in order to speak up. Everybody can speak up. Hey to everybody joining us right now. This is the Sip and Savor hour of the Simeon Henderson Show, and I'm on with Sarah Cigan, and we are having a good time. And correct, Simeon, my point exact. Okay, so
I'm
we're
sipping
having.
too, Simeon, just so you know I
I
got
was
my
about to say
water.
what you're sipping on. So if you guys are watching, we're getting into it. I'm going to do another quick promo and a little commercial break, and this is in support of what's going on, that we're all in this together. So I'm going to do a little quick snippet, and we're going to come right back, and we're going to talk to Sarah about a couple of the projects that she's been working on, and get into that. So it's going to be interesting. So we'll be right back after this message. All right, everybody, we are back, and I am sitting here with Sarah Cigan. That's right, it's not Cigan, it's not Cigan, it's Cigan.
Exactly. Yes, Simeon. Thank you.
And
Took Mark a long time for that one.
and I want to say thank you to everybody that tuned in. I see you, Jennifer Lawson. We got people from all over tuning in. Thank you guys for coming in, and we are having a great conversation. Now, I am here with my girl, Sarah, and I want to get into some of who she is. So now, I want to start off with Black and Privilege.
Yes, of course, of course.
Black and Privilege. So you were in the series Black and Privilege,
Mhm.
and we're about to do more series episodes,
Mhm.
but you know this whole pandemic got everything shut down. But going back to the first series,
Okay.
what was it like for you, to play the role that you played, and how did you relate to that character?
So I love the character. Her name's Tamala. If you guys haven't seen it, like Simeon said, Black and Privilege on Netflix. I play the character Tamala, and she is a new resident to the Inglewood community that everything kind of takes place in and centers around. And so she's a new resident. She just moved there from the projects. So, you know, she got a little flavor in her, a little spice in her, you know, like myself in real life. But unlike myself in real life, she is a urban farmer, and that was a really big thing that she did in her back with the project she came from in her community. And so she wanted to bring that to this new neighborhood, and just, you know, which I think is so interesting, just kind of what's going on now, that it's this whole idea, or this whole pushing the whole concept of, you know, being self-sustaining and being able to, you know, grow your own food, you know, with she always says grow our own food in the vacant lots, because even in Chicago, we do have a lot of vacant lots. They have places where you can rent like really cheap. I think my mom got one for like $5 every few months or something, where you can grow your own food and et cetera. So with her preparing for that role, I did look a lot more into urban farming, just to kind of get the idea of I knew what it was, like a basic understanding, but I just wanted to look into it more and kind of understand, okay, well, what is it like being this woman from the projects, moving somewhere where these people, if you watch the movie, they aren't, the people that already live there, Simeon, aren't the most inviting, not the most inviting, you know, hood project residents, right? Samad. But yeah, so they weren't there. So just kind of getting to that role and feeling, you know, how is it to be this urban farmer? I'm moving to this new community. It's a little bit of turmoil in her backstory going on with her husband that's happening behind the scenes. A lot of people don't know. So just really getting into kind of that emotional space and thinking, how would I feel if I was this character? And from there, you know, if I don't want to give too much away for people that haven't seen it, but she has a few interesting scenes that happen in Black and Privilege. We see a little more of her personality, and of course, I brought myself into it.
Right.
You know, I always tell people that I think a great actor always brings a little piece of themselves to any role. It could be the most far-fetched role that you could play that's totally different from yourself. But if you bring a little piece of you, if you find a way to incorporate yourself into that role, it becomes so much more realistic, and you make it your own. And that's what I tried to do for Tamla, even though it wasn't that hard, because she's crazy just like me.
So when you talk about Black and Privilege, right? When you heard the title of the show and you got to audition or you got picked to be in it, when you heard the title, just hearing the title alone, what did you think? Because I know what I thought. When I heard, I'm like, oh man,
right.
I'm gonna watch it just because they wanted. What the heck are y'all talking about? Black and privilege? Because we know that there's a such thing as white privilege. Right. Right. And that's not to take anything away from anybody. It's just a reality. And some of my best friends are white, but and they know that they're privileged. And I've even had a couple that didn't know that they were privileged. But when you heard Black and privileged, what thoughts went through your head about the project?
So of course, first off, I was just like, what the hell did Mark got going on now? Like this brother always working on stuff. So I'm like, what is he doing now? But I thought it was very intriguing. I thought it was dope AF. I thought it was super dope. I think I believe in bold titles, right, to catch the audience's attention. And so when he first had that, because I think the very original one was Black. It's Black and Privilege. What did he first start with? It wasn't like Black.
It was just Black Privilege.
Yeah, it was just Black Privilege, right? And so then he kind of changed that around a little bit. But I think it's something that definitely, when you hear it, it makes you like kind of look like, wait a second. Like you said, we know about white privilege, but what is Black? What is he talking about? Then I saw people online, that's not possible. Black people can't be privileged. They were trying to go in the name alone, the title alone it doesn't make sense. That's dumb. That's blah, blah, blah. I'm just looking at these people like, and it's Black people that was saying this. I'm just like, wow, that is so interesting.
And that's exactly why Mark did it. And because when you, like the new show, Black is AF, Black AF.
Right.
I know they saw Black and Privilege. I know they have. Everybody in America has seen Black and Privilege, or nearly everyone. And I think that we started something with that, and people really like it. It was at one point, it was like the number 5 or number 7 most watched thing on Netflix.
Yeah.
For like 3 weeks straight, you know?
Yep.
So that's huge. There's so many different things on Netflix, and I know it's going to get better. People really, you better hold on to your seats, people, because it's going to get even better.
Yeah.
So you have this, and when you go places, because Netflix is huge, when you go places, do people recognize you?
So it's, first of all, I'm a homebody, so I don't go too many places as
when you go to the grocery store.
So that's crazy, because I swear to God, Cynthia, like I thought I was being paranoid, but I was in Walmart one day, and it was like I was walking around, and I heard it was like these little, like it was like 3 girls and 1 boy. They were like teenagers, and I'm walking past, and I heard them, and they said something like, and it wasn't nobody else around. It was them, and it was me. It was like the pillow aisle. Nobody else was around. No other female. Nobody was around except for me and my husband. So I'm over there, and I'm just like, and she said something like, I think, yeah, that's her. I think that's her. And I was just like, So I'm just like trying to like look a little bit. And then they were just like, no, and it's like, no, I swear to God, that's her. Yeah, that's her. That's her. So I'm just like, okay, now they never said anything to me. But of course, my mind kind of goes to like, well, I think the most seen I've been is probably been in Black and Privileged. So that was interesting. It was another time I remember going to an audition for something else. And the girl coming out of it, you know, I was just like, hi, you know, she's like, I just saw you in that movie on Netflix. And, you know, so that was her. I had a couple people. I know this one guy, I remember, he was kind of looking like, I've seen you before. And then we ended up talking, and come to find out it was from, it was like in a random grocery store one time after it came out. So yeah, like a little bit here and there. I've gotten a little bit of facial recognition. So that's always fun.
So the difference between you and I, like you don't hardly go anywhere, and I
Yeah.
go everywhere.
Yes, and you
And
also have your show, you have the commercials, so your face is out there more than mine.
so I'm telling you, I'm walking around. You know, right now we're supposed to wear the mask in the grocery stores and things like that. I'm in the stores there with my mask on, and people still recognize me. I'm like, you are nosy people.
Right,
But,
exactly.
but the funny thing for me being a man, I've been places where I've seen, like at the mall, I'm in Foot Locker, it's like thugs. And they looking at me like, and I'm like, man, come on, man. I know I don't got to fight. And like, yo, bro. Oh, man, Joe, you that dude off that movie, Black.
Yeah, yeah.
You know, so it's real. It's a blessing, and it's cool because we've been working hard. So I know the best is yet to come. So that's Black and Privilege, right? So I'm gonna keep going because you're in the film coming up. I saw the trailer, and I'm mad because I couldn't pull it up to play it for everybody, but they can see it on your Instagram at Sarah Cigan. It's up on the screen, and it's called Secrets of a Side Chick.
Yes,
Now,
yes.
here it goes, another one. And then I watched the trailer, and I'm cracking up because I got the name of it in my head, and then I'm watching what's going on in the trailer. So what was that like when you auditioned for that and when you got the role?
So that was so much fun. That was director, author Jessica Watkins. So it's based on her book, which is Secrets of a Side Bitch. But, we have to change the name, make it more, marketable.
Right.
So it's based on her book, which is a best-selling book on Amazon. And then the director for it was Will Gates. I think you know him. I know Marcus.
Will,
like,
yeah.
Will. So that was actually his first time directing a feature-length movie. And he did a fabulous job. So it was fun. When I went in for that role, I was actually pregnant with my daughter. And so, I know, I'm just like,
Book it. Look, you did the B with the B, booking with the belly.
Hello. And it worked. So I went in there, killed my audition. You know how you have an audition, you feel good, and you're just like, yeah, I killed that. If they don't go with me, they crazy. It's no way they're not going, And I kind of felt that afterwards because their reaction and just how I felt about it was really great. So I ended up getting the role. I am not the side chick. Just so y'all know, I am not the side chick in the film, okay? I am the loving, devoted girlfriend at home, just, so oblivious. No. But so that was really fun. So I got the role, and then I think I was about 5 months pregnant at that time, so I was smaller. So, of course, they knew I was pregnant. I let them know, and I was like, I don't know if it's going to be an issue. And they were like, well, the character actually is pregnant. She gets pregnant, so this would be perfect. So when we actually shot the film, the first few scenes, we had to cheat a lot of it because she wasn't pregnant yet.
Yeah, okay.
Right. So if you watch it, I think like the beginning stuff, you'll see a lot of stuff is kind of cheated. I had to do some of the, pillows over the belly and, different angles and stuff like that. And then towards the end of the film, I'm able to just like be free, show my belly. She's pregnant at the end of it. So, but that was so much fun. I remember they were really, really trying to work with me because I was 8 months, I think it was 36, 37 weeks. So she could come at any time. So I remember Will just being like, we have to wrap her. We have to do Sarah's scenes. We have to get it done. Like, cause what if we had like 2 scenes and a baby come and I'm in a hot, it was just like,
hey,
it was crazy.
They would have had to do a rewrite. And they would have had to come shoot you in the hospital.
Right?
Having a baby. And then after you had a baby. Hey.
Exactly.
Movie magic.
Yeah, so that was fun. Just they were trying to like rush my scenes and make sure I wasn't going to go into the, labor. And then being a pregnant woman on set, you got to stay within certain laws and make sure they're not overworking me too hard or I'm not overworking myself. So it was a couple long days on set, but everybody was super nice. And I'm really excited to see how that's going to come out. We were supposed to have a premiere. We probably would have had the premiere by now, but damn Rona. So. And
you worked with my buddy Jay Davis too, right?
Yes, I did. I just did two sketches for his Choke on That season 2.
So what is it like? Jay is actually going to be, Jay and Dante, they're going to be on the show Wednesday.
Oh, nice. I'm going to catch it then.
They're going to be on Wednesday. So what was that like for you? And we're just going through your resume. What was it like for you working on Choke on That? Because you're, in my eyes, you're very funny. And with your personality, you can adapt. And you did a little skit well, people will see it when they see the thing, the little crackhead thing you did.
Oh yeah.
I was like, oh, Holly Berry in 2020.
Talk
But
about Halle Berry.
what was it like doing comedy and working on Choke on That with Jay Davis and Dante?
Oh my God. So I literally, I told them this too. I think that was probably one of the funniest days that I've had, like shooting a scene, because I don't want to go into too much because you guys got to see it when it comes out season 2.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't want them yelling at me for giving too much away. But I will say that, especially that first sketch that we shot, it's just, when you do comedy, especially like a sketch series like him, you know, different
Mm-hmm.
skits and everything, it's so much room for improv.
Yeah.
It's so much room to just be silly and goofy and just, I don't know how people on SNL do it. I really don't. Like, you have to have some type of willpower to hold it together and not crack up every scene.
Oh yes.
But it was fun, man. We had so much fun that day. Yeah, I was trying to think. I don't want to say anything. I'm not gonna say nothing.
You can say something. Just don't say a lot.
Right. No, it's just a really, really funny skit that takes place at a table read. So it goes into the world of actors and everything like that, and everybody's at a table read, and you know, some crazy things kind of happen at that table read.
All right.
Right.
So let me ask you this, because you've done a little bit of both. What do you prefer? Do you prefer comedic acting, or do you prefer drama, serious acting? What do you prefer? I know you can do either, but I'm saying if you had your choice, what would you prefer?
God, that's such a hard one. Because both is really fun. I think I would probably say drama.
Okay.
I would probably say drama. I don't think people realize how challenging comedy can be. Especially like stand-up. I would never do stand-up. I think let's see. My hat goes off.
Man,
like
look.
People, that takes guts, G. That takes, like, you gotta have balls to
It take look, it's a United States take guts. Now that take the whole body.
Right, everything you got.
But people don't understand though. The one thing I learned, because when I my first classes were Second City, and what I did was at that time, I decided I wanted to act more, so I started acting more. But I was still hosting and doing the comedy on the side. I was doing stand up in LA, and then I came back to it. But that thing, it's all about who you are, being relatable. Because I could tell a bad joke, but because the people like me, I could come out of it. And
exactly.
It takes a lot. So I get what you're saying about that. It's very rewarding when you can because in my mind, it's almost like me doing a talk show. It's like making people feel good, and giving the people a voice. And like even now, I'm glad now. I remember when I was bigger, I could never play the leading man because I didn't fit the stereotype.
Right.
So, but now I do. But it's one of those things, you got to decide what you want and what lane you want to be in.
Yeah. So, no, that's very true. And that's why it's one of those things. It's kind of sad because it is hard for a lot of actors to do both, even if they are good at both. It seems that at least from what I've seen, like it's very rare that you see a lot of actors being very great at both the drama and comedy. For instance, Adam Sandler. he's a comedian. He's a comedian, right? He's a comedian, and everybody knows him from his comedy movies and stuff. But when he's done his serious roles, like the first serious role that comes to mind that I saw was when he did the one with goddamn, I can't think of the name, but it was with Don Cheadle, and he plays the guy who he lost his whole family in a plane crash, and he ends up being homeless, and he killed that role. I mean, it was great. And that showed me, I'm like, damn, like I already was a big Adam Sandler fan, but that just made me have even more respect, because I'm like, I didn't know you could do drama too. So it is one of those things where, like I said, it's kind of sad because as an actor, you want to do it all. And especially I do feel like I can do comedy and drama too, but of course, when it comes to just like, okay, what do you want to focus on your brand, right? Because we're all a walking brand. So what do you want your brand to be, blah, blah, blah. And I think right now I've been able to do a little bit of both, because people have seen my series and seen my drama, and they've seen my comedy. So I'm hoping to ride on that as long as I can and kind of be able to do both. And then maybe when I do get to the bigger platform, that I'm known for both and I don't have to stick in one box and do just one thing. But if somebody put a gun to my head and I had to choose, I probably would say drama, just because the most memorable and impacting scenes that I've seen from TV shows and movies and things like that have been, you know, dramatic stuff. I'm actually working on this monologue right now.
Right.
From have you started watching Little Fires Everywhere?
Not yet.
I know you've seen everybody talking about it, though.
Yes.
Of course. So yeah, phenomenal show. The acting in it, from, you know, I wanted to say, oh, it's just Kerry Washington and Reese Witherspoon. It was everybody. The acting was phenomenal in that show.
Did you see Uncut Gems?
No, I haven't seen
that. You know who's in that, right? Adam.
It's
Sandler.
on Netflix, right?
Adam Sandler.
Yeah. Okay. No, I haven't seen it.
That's with the one with him and Kevin Garnett is in it, and
okay.
Don McCord is watching, and yes, Uncut Gems is the bomb. You need to see Uncut Gems, and I think Adam Sandler, people like him, Jim Carrey. Oh my goodness.
Yeah, Jim Carrey's done serious roles too, and
like
murdered
I've been
them.
a fan so long.
Yes.
I think my favorite Adam Sandler scene was with him and Bob Barker.
Oh,
do you remember that?
When he was when he was trying to
when he was playing golf, he was trying to save
yeah.
to save his grandma's
Happy Gilmore. I love that movie.
I will never ever forget that.
Yes. Oh my God, Bob Barker. That's I'm like, okay,
Bob Barker was like 100 years old.
Right.
And he beat him up. He beat Bob Barker. Well, Bob Barker won the fight at the end, but he beat Bob Barker up. I'm like, he's like 90 years old.
Bro, that's why I say it's just stuff like that. It's just comedy genius to me. You can't, people like Adam Sandler, Jim Carrey's, you know, the Eddie Murphys. It's just it's something special that they have. I mean, you got to be some type of special to think of the scenes that they do for
right.
You really, really do. So yeah, I mean, I'm hoping to work with them one day. You know, like try to get my resume up. Put me in.
Hey, look, it'll be at a point where they'll be hoping to work with you one day. So
thank you. You're right.
so now, I mean, I've been enjoying this time. It's so funny how like the time just flies. And thinking about all the stuff that you've been doing, and I got to ask this question really quick, and then I'm going to finish with what's next. But when you talk about being married and having children, right? How has your support system been at home? You know, does your husband, is he like your biggest fan? Is he pushing you to the top? What is that like? What is that like?
Yes. Oh my God. He's definitely my biggest fan. And in case anybody's watching this that's like, that knows me personally, like, girl, when you give it, we're not officially like legal.
But
no, I'm just in case anybody down here, I know, because they be like, girl, when is you know? But no, that's my husband. So
people gonna be mad talking about why you didn't invite me to the wedding?
I know, that's why I'm like, wait, just in case nobody's missed anything, I promise. But no, but yeah, that's definitely my husband, man. I always tell people too, like, he has been the biggest support system for me, just because he's so willing, and like so we're the opposite, right? Like I'm very like in the scene, and like I'm outgoing, and you know, in the lights and the attention and everything like that. And he's like the opposite. He don't like to be in like the pictures and videos and stuff. He's just very like low key. But so this whole acting thing is just like, you know, he's kind of like, whatever, like, but he knows how much it means to me and how passionate I am about it. So, I mean, literally just like auditions that I have, even right now, I'm on an interview with you. He knows I had this. He's up there taking care of the kids, like, you know, and he works full time as well. So he's been just such a rock for me. And I don't know how I would have done half of the things that I've been able to do without having his support there. And just, you know, especially because it's something that, you know, he's from Mississippi, moved to San Diego for the military, right? So he's
what part of Mississippi is he from?
You probably have never heard of it. It's a small town called Edwards.
Okay, I was waiting for you to say Shaw, Mississippi.
Shaw, Mississippi.
That's what
I've never heard of Shaw.
My family from Shaw. I'm about Mississippi. My uncle.
There's a place in the city called, like, I think it's called Chicken something, Mississippi.
Alligator, Mississippi.
See,
my uncle used to tease me because there's a gas station and a big office building, and my uncle would be like, "Simeon, you could be the mayor of Alligator." I'm like, whatever.
Right. So you see my point. It's all these little places I ain't never heard of, but yeah, he's from Edwards, which is about like 20 minutes north of Jackson. No, or Yeah, of Jackson, Mississippi.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so about 20 minutes north, I think north from there. So yeah, very small. We went to a family reunion and went around his whole town, I think, in like 10 minutes. It was like a 10-minute drive. Like his family has their own street. Like his last name's Pollard, and it's Pollardville, and it's like an entire like street and everything that's just for his family. So yeah, it's pretty cool.
That's cool. That's cool. I
But
used
he's
to want to
awesome.
get into politics because and that was just
I could see that.
but that's I could definitely do it, but I couldn't because see, I'll be all for the people and I love the people, but you know those other politicians that like to play dirty.
Yeah, you would never make
start lying on me. I think I'm gonna choke you out.
Yeah,
So
you would never. You're too good of a person to be. I
couldn't do it because I was like, you know what? I'm gonna help in this way. I'm gonna motivate people. But I thought about it, and they tried to get me to do it for years. But I saw what it was, and knew that I couldn't be a part of the machine because.
Yeah.
And that's one thing. And let me ask you this: that's like about politics. What people don't understand is this. Like everybody got so mad at Barack Obama because they thought he was going to be the savior and do all of this and that. Do you realize it's the other offices that we have to vote for, like governor, mayor, judges, and all of that? The elect, those are the people that really make the decisions.
Yeah.
And when you talk about the laws and things like that, so we have to understand, like, okay, come on, I'll give you an example. How when she had the popular vote, Hillary Clinton had the popular vote, right? But she didn't have the electoral college vote.
Exactly.
So that goes to show you that the people are not the ones that put the president in office.
Never.
It's not us.
Bernie Sanders. People wanted Bernie Sanders, and he's stopped by the GOP and everybody. He's never going to there.
So what do you think about? And I just got to ask this because we're on Black and Privilege, and we do some political stuff.
Yeah.
What do you think about what's going on right now in the world, and how is it politically tied and connected?
I think we're living through a very interesting time. I always think about how it's going to be told or retold in the history books, because everything gets changed in the history books. And, you even have people are going to be studying this pandemic for years and years to come. I'm sure my kids are going to come to me when they're, in grammar school. Oh, mommy, we have to do this project. And our teachers told us to ask, what was it like during the coronavirus, So it's definitely an interesting time we're living in. I think that, like anything, right, when you're into politics, whatever happens, you're going to take advantage of it, and you're going to skew it in a way that's going to be better, that's going to benefit you, that's going to get you reelected. That's the whole goal, right? Not for what's the people, not you want to get reelected. Let's be honest. That's the goal. It is. People don't care. What can I do to get reelected? And they might come off as, oh, I'm doing this for the people. Let me try to pander some Black votes real quick and let some people out of jail or whatever they can do to, get the Black people voting and get their reelection. And let me keep it PG. They don't give a care about you, right? They just want your vote. Right. So with that being said, it's frustrating when I see people that think that this whole thing is a joke. The entire thing is a hoax, or the 5G towers are causing the virus and they're making the virus. That stuff, I literally have to, I find myself typing to people on Facebook and I'm just like, what are you doing, Sarah? Like, if they think this way, there's no way you're going to change their mind about this. This is what they want to believe. So I just delete it and I don't write it. Yeah. But so with that being said, it's frustrating when I see people saying it's a hoax and it's 100% real. People are really dying from it. I know people who personally have been affected, who know people. I think I had the stuff back in February.
I think my wife had it in January. I want to say January.
Yeah. It was going around. I think myself, my hubby, and my son, we all had it. Mm-hmm. So it's 100% real. Now, what I will say about that is, of course, because people are like, oh, well, you just think that nobody's trying to, they're not trying to take advantage, or of course, even freaking Trump just, he's trying to play his cards. And I'm sorry if anybody on here is a Trump fan or whatever, but, we won't even go into that. But he's trying to play his cards, right? Because he said, what did he say at the press conference? He says the president has absolute power. This is what he says. I have absolute power over the states, meaning that he's basically saying, if I want to open these businesses up and this is what the president wants to do, because I have absolute power, I can do that. So that's what he says. So then from that press conference, he says that it's like this debate about federalism that goes on for a few days. People are talking about federalism and what is the point? You know, if the governors really don't have power, blah, blah, blah. Then a few days later, he comes out and says, well, it's up to your own state and your governor. They have the power to open the businesses up. So it's up to them. So now he's creating this thing where it's like, you know, it makes him look good. He's trying to look good for reelection. So Trump is, hey, he's not in anymore, even though he just said I have absolute power. Right now it's, oh, well, it's up to the governor. So if your governor decides not to open the state back up, that's on him. You guys can protest him. It's not my fault. And if he does open the state back up, then hey, I gave him the go ahead. I'm respecting federalism. Go ahead and open it up. So again, it's all a lot of it is the political ploy.
It's a play on words. It's a play on words and trying to. I think that just like Atlanta just opened up, right? Atlanta opened up. And there are people who are going to follow suit. Let me tell you something. People are mad. People are mad. And this is what I have to say. I think it's going to be hard because people don't like feeling trapped. Like I saw a video with a group of white people saying that, hey, you can't do this to us. This is like slavery. I'm like, what? But
that's like slavery. Okay, go back.
But my point is this though. People feel trapped and they actually feel this way, whether they know what slavery was like or not. To them, in their minds, now they can fathom the notion and almost understand what it was like to be enslaved, because they're being told that they can't go here, they can't go there, they can't do this, they can only do this. So everything is being controlled, slavery controlled, right? Now, me personally, I think you should choose better words, but it's what's happening. And a lot of people always ask me, they say, Simeon, one thing about you, you always stay neutral or you stay safe and all that. It's not that I stay safe. You have to understand who I am and what my stands are. It's to always educate, inspire, and motivate. Now, don't get me wrong. I will go in.
Yeah, I've seen you go. I've heard you.
When I get fed up, I will go in.
Yeah, I've heard.
It's just that, I just don't like feeling like I have to defend myself.
Yeah.
And that's why I feel if these are your views and what you think, so be it. I'm not going to disrespect you. I'm going to let you be who you are. In my mind and in my heart, I could think you crazy as hell. But I'm going to chill. I'm going to let you have that. But and I'm going to tell you how I feel about it, though. So let me have that. So what do you think about it's just, oh, my goodness. It's it's one of those things, and I'm not going to turn this into that. So everybody, you've been watching the Sip and Say Hour. It was Sarah Cigan. We've been having great conversation and everything. And so because we're running out of time, so we're gonna go and move past that.
We're gonna say that for the panels and stuff.
We're gonna
come back to it.
So we talk about what's next for you. What's next for you?
Oh, well, I mean, like every actor hopes, just work, man. I'm ready to get back on set. I know that things are they're never going to be the same as they were before this, even when it comes to working on set. I was reading an article that they're already trying to pitch. I think it's the guy's first name, Kavanaugh, and somebody else. They're like big Hollywood producers. And so they're trying to put around this kind of like this what's the word I'm looking for? Like this proposition of how things should be ran in Hollywood from here on out. And I saw some of it was like using CGI for background actors and taking away some of the day player roles. And then, which of course the rebuttal is that SAG is never going to let that happen. The union is never going to let that happen because you're taking away money and roles. So luckily, I don't even think I would want that to happen, but it is going to be interesting to see just how things have changed when we do go back on set. I think it's going to be a lot smaller sets, which I don't mind. I don't even mind it being less people and everything. When I'm on set, you work with me before.
Who's ever supposed to be on set? And just let them people be on set. The actors and the director and the camera guy, whatever. Everybody be
it's less distraction anyways. And you've worked with me before, so you like, when I go to set and I'm on there, like I'll talk, I'll laugh, that's my personality. But when it's time, like I'm on business and I'm focused, and that's why I like will kill my scenes, because I focus and I get into that mindset. So having less people isn't such a bad thing to me. But yeah, definitely just getting back on set. I have a lot of things that are in post-production or are even finished, but they just haven't been released yet. Like White People Money. Had a nice little thing on White People Money. That was a lot of fun. I did Secrets of a Side Chick, waiting for that to come out. The season 2 for Choke on That we talked about is coming out. There's another film that I'm supposed to be doing with he announced it.
I saw it with William and all of them.
Yeah, that's so Ken Lewis is the writer and director. It's called Vice Script. That's super exciting. That script is fucking awesome. That script is awesome. So that's really exciting. And we were supposed to have started shooting that again, but you know, now it's like those plans have changed, and got to kind of adapt to that. So that's another one. Geez, what up, Malcolm? I was supposed to be doing a short with Malcolm, actually. Me, him, Tiffany, and another actress. We're gonna do like a nice little like fun short. Yeah, that was pushed back. It was a music video I was gonna do. So it's like a bunch. I do have a bunch of stuff that's just like in the can, that's waiting to go. But it's just, as an actor, we just don't know what's happening right now because of the whole Corona situation. And then Black and Privilege, of course. Black and Privilege is the next installment. So I got some stuff in the works, Simeon. I'm trying to be a household name by next year.
Hey, it's so funny. Let me say this. Speaking of music videos, I was going through my stuff. So when I was living in LA, I played the love interest in a music video for an artist named Kimberly Hunter.
Oh, you
I found the video.
You gotta send that to me, bro. I gotta see it. Let me see.
Hey, I'm gonna play. I found the video. I found the DVD. I was like, no.
Oh my God. Are you gonna post it? When you gonna post it?
I gotta post it. I got the video, so I'm gonna get them to show me how to rip it, and I'm gonna post it.
Oh my God. I'm gonna go in on you. Let me see Simeon. I'm gonna go in on you.
Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. Yeah, but it's one of those things. I think with what we do, Sarah, it's one of those things where we've done a lot of projects that we aren't so proud of, and we've done a lot that we are super proud of, but I think it's all with growth. You're growing, and the thing is, like I tell everybody, no matter how it looks, feels, or sounds, you have to stay focused on your purpose and on your goals and on your dreams, and when you do that, that's when you have success. And you can't be detoured and thrown off, because the world will do that. And right now we've been detoured and there's a roadblock, but we're gonna come out of it. And it's just like, remember anthrax, when everybody was scared to open mail. You know what I'm saying? And things like the Ebola and AIDS and all these different things. We've been hit with plagues before, and this too, we'll get past this, and this too shall pass.
And people, you got to use it to your advantage. Like it's frustrating, because, like I said, it's literally all of those things that I had this entire plan lined up, new headshots this summer, just everything in my head of, okay, this is what's gonna put me to that next level of what I'm trying to be by next year. Now, is that thrown off a little bit and maybe pushed back? Possibly. But I would be lying to you if I said that this quarantine actually hasn't helped me do even more and push even more motivation, where I think that maybe this was supposed to happen the whole time, and that this is going to get me to where I really am trying to go. And maybe that wouldn't have happened if had this whole pandemic not happened. So I'm trying to use it to my advantage and just work and really just come out with new creativity, content, like just a fire and just a hunger, even more so than before, because now everything's being stopped. So you got to use it to your advantage.
And I think, I hate the fact that we had to go through this, but if you didn't learn something from this, if you didn't grow from this, if you didn't become more creative because of this and things like that, shame on you. And when I say that,
I can't blame nobody else.
When I say that, I mean that you have to, in every situation, good or bad, you have to find somewhere to grow in it and get better from it. And I think that's what people have to get from this. And I think if you see it that way, and you look at it that way, you'll see things a little different, and you'll start to do better. So I just appreciate you. I hear the baby. I hear the baby in the background.
I know. My hubby about to go feed him. He's mad because he's hungry and it's nap time. So
and look, it's so funny. Everybody, Sarah's my girl. That's like my sister. So I tease her all the time when we're on the phone and stuff. Like, where are them kids in the background?
Every time, because this is a 202 life, y'all. I'm telling you, this is.
They know when they hear Uncle Simeon's voice in the background.
Like, hold on.
Toya laughing at me. Toya, hey Toya Hunter, big shout out to Toya Hunter with her
Toya.
a God is dope gear. God is dope gear. She said she can't wait to see that video I was talking about. So I'm gonna put this video up. That's gonna be funny.
The people waiting.
so Sarah, I thank you for taking the time to just spend with us. Everybody, this is Sarah Cigan, and you can see her on Instagram or Facebook at Sarah Cigan. Make sure you check her out on Netflix on Black and Privilege. I'll put that up one more time so you guys can see that. She's on Black and Privilege. She's going to be on season, is it 3 on ChocoNet?
Season 2. Season 2, yeah.
Season 2.
And that'll be on Amazon Prime. That was the first one on Amazon Prime. So, yeah, Amazon Prime.
It's going to be on Amazon Prime. And she's also co-starring in Secrets of a Side Chick. And she has a lot of stuff coming up. So support my sister and make sure you guys be on the lookout for it. And be on the lookout. We have a funny video coming out. Our buddy Mel Rob together. It's a bunch of actors. We did our thing. So shout out to Mel Rob, Sarah, Gio, and I don't Edward. It's a bunch of people.
Was in it. Thea,
Tahara. A bunch of people. So shout out to. It's not out yet, right? He didn't put it out yet.
Not yet. I think he might try to do it today. Yeah. I know. He's like trying to fix like the last little parts, but yeah, I think he's gonna do it today.
So we're gonna put that up when it comes out, and it's gonna be fun. So I hope you guys enjoyed the show, and make sure you guys tune in on weekly at 12 p.m. on Facebook Live. And I'm just super excited, and thank you so much. I appreciate you, Sarah.
Thank you for having me, Simeon. Finally, thank you.
I know. And everybody, tomorrow I will have the sisters from TK Talks on, and it's going to be a great show. I'm going to play their promo real quick, and then we're going to get out of here. But once again, shout out to my sister, Sarah. Thank you so much. I appreciate you.
Simeon.
All right. And I know the best is yet to come.
Yes, definitely. You too.
See you later.
Bye.